Hello and welcome. Today on the show, I'll be doing even more of the talking than usual, much to many of your chagrin. My name is Adam, and I'll be joined here today by my semi-willing participants, Eric and Tori. Why don't you guys say hi?
Thank you. Thanks for that preface, by the way.
Absolutely.
Semi-willing, so carry on.
I think that was the most accurate way to put it.
Yeah, it was pretty spot on.
Well, I'll jump right into it, because this isn't going to be a full-length episode. This is an introduction today to a project that we've been working on here at SToken as a little bit of a surprise and a present to our listeners. As some of you guys, we'll date the podcast a little bit here. We're not normally this specific on this, but I will say that today is January 7th, 2021. And the reason specifically that I bring that up is that today was the day that Bitcoin officially hit its new all-time high of over $40,000. And that kind of leads us in a little bit to what we're going to be talking about today. Back in the Christmas special episode, The Night Before SAUS, which came out a few weeks ago, Tori made a little bit of a joke. He was talking about, I don't remember what exactly the prompt was, but we were talking about...
How we're going to spend our stimulus check.
Yeah, and we were talking, something brought us on the topic of a SAUS coin, a cryptocurrency based on our podcast. And me being a bit overzealous as I typically am, I went ahead and made our little fun joke a reality. As usual, I was more enthusiastic about it than most other people, but to that end, that's what we're introducing here today. Our new cryptocurrency based on our show, STokens.
That's SToken.
Yes, SToken. So originally we had talked about it being SAUS coin. And the only reason I went with, I was originally going to make it SAUS SPO-coin, which I also kind of like that. I actually kind of almost still like that better a little bit. But the reason I went with this is because typically they call the type of cryptocurrency that we created are more commonly referred to as tokens. So that's why I went with that naming convention. But as Eric and Tori were also similarly confused. What will these actually be used for? Because right now these are totally valueless. They're not linked to any other form of currency or other cryptocurrency that holds an actual value. They're essentially a community token to be used among soft-spoken listeners. And they can be used in a lot of different ways. You know, some people just like, we talked a little bit before the show about some people just like having a lot of things. So even if they don't really have any value. So for example, Beanie Babies, things like that. Or stickers, as we had also mentioned. Some people just like collecting stickers. And that's...
Or puzzles glued and
puzzles
hung on walls.
Glued on the wall. So that's kind of how we wanted to let you guys kind of think about this too. Like I said, right now these are have essentially no monetary value of any sort, but they are what we're calling a community token for our listeners. The next thing you may be wondering is, okay, so how do I get some of these SAUS tokens? The initial distribution that I had planned was as a little bit of a reward, a token, if you would, of our appreciation for community or listener involvement. So, for example, probably one of the things we'll be doing in the near future is providing some of those to people who go on to a platform like iTunes where you can leave us a written review, and we'll be giving you guys some number yet to be determined of those as a little reward for doing that. For the time being, until we have a better means of distribution, the way that we're going to be distributing those is basically perform whatever task we're asking to do or do whatever, achievement that works out to be, and then send me an email with whatever verification we're asking for. Send us an email at softSpoken@gmail.com along with your wallet address and any necessary attachments and verification. And we'll get them sent over to you as soon as we can. That's as best as we can do for distribution at the moment, and this is all subject to change. Once we get more well established, the information is going to be provided in an updated form on our website, and you'll be able to reference the latest version of it there. This is kind of just a little bit of a kickoff.
And to be clear for those non-techie people, we are not asking for you to send us your wallets.
Yeah, don't send us your wallet, which I'll blaze through this really quick here. A little bit of techno babble for those that you might not know. In order to receive our SAUS tokens, you're going to need a cryptocurrency wallet capable of holding ERC20 tokens. That's what SToken is. One example of an acceptable wallet provider for this type of token is MetaMask, and just for the ease of simplicity, and if you ever want to ask me any questions on how to help you through this, that would be the best route to go since that's what I'm most familiar with. But your chosen wallet will likely require you to manually add our token in order for them to appear in your wallet. And we're going to provide some instructions online for how exactly you can go about doing that. Once we've sent SToken to you, they should appear in your wallet after you've added them. So I wanted to kind of talk about this generally with you guys who are a little bit less familiar about this, so I can kind of answer maybe some basic listener questions that they may have before we get really started. I just had really quick a little bit of a disclaimer, the full version of which will be available on our website, as I mentioned earlier, sausspoken.wordpress.com. A couple things we want you to bear in mind. SToken and the individuals involved with it are not financial or investment advisors, and no information that we provide you should be considered financial, investment, trading, or any other sort of advice, and you should not treat any content as such. And we wanted to specify specifically that SAUS tokens are not intended to be an investment or a security and should not be considered as such. And while we hope that you enjoy joining in this fun little experiment with us, we do not necessarily recommend that you involve yourself with any other cryptocurrency projects. That should be done solely by the consultation with your personal, professional, financial, or investment advisor if you choose to do so. Furthermore, we wanted to make sure you guys were aware that this is not a stock in the traditional terms, where you will not be owning any equity in SToken by holding these. These are just, like I said, these are fun, they're valueless, no profits should be expected, no monetary value or otherwise is implied by this. This is just a little bit for fun, and we kind of hope you'll join into us, but we totally respect your decision if you choose not to be involved with it. So that's kind of it for all the boring stuff for now. Like I said, all the fine print's going to be on the website for you guys to review. If you guys are more interested in the technical details of the project or more interested in the exciting legal disclaimers, you can feel free to check that out there, and as well as a little bit more in-depth instructions in it. But no, I kind of wanted to open the floor to you guys, see if you guys had any thoughts or questions that we could kind of elaborate on here for the listeners.
No, I appreciate that, AP Esquire. Yeah, I mean, I encourage you, of course, to go in and check out all the legal disclaimers. It's a bit of light reading for you if you wish. It'll cure your insomnia. I'm certain of it.
I think it's really neat, AP, and I think getting our listeners to check out our website and check out our Instagram and be active and part of us would be a really interesting community we could build around our SAUS tokens.
And I had mentioned this to you guys before that, I'm not actually familiar with any other podcast having done anything quite like this before.
I think the idea is neat as heck, sure.
Yeah, they offer, sometimes I know I like to listen to some podcasts a little bit more, how do you want to say it, some bigger financial backers that we have. And sometimes they like to get into some cool projects like that, just, to be fun and kind of go with the trends, and I always thought that would be really cool to be able to get into something like that. Like I said, crypto is kind of in the zeitgeist once again for this year, so I thought it would be kind of fun for us to be, involved in a little bit of a project like that. Something I always found it fun to kind of follow along with trends, kind of something to mark the passage of time. Like you guys, for example, you remember back like when Pokemon Go was a big thing and everyone was into that.
Of course, sure. Of course.
And that's kind of how I feel. It's just, sometimes it's kind of fun to just go with the flow. As someone who's a little bit of a control freak sometimes, I like to take a step back and let loose a little bit.
Oof, and you really did.
I also think that it's maybe an interesting parallel to draw between podcasts and YouTube and other online influencers, but this kind of community-driven, open forum, we provide content, you get a little bonus out of it by being our loyal listeners or patrons. It's a big thing right now. So, that's another thing I kind of want to touch on, is that this is not really, if anything, this is actually kind of the opposite, because normally speaking, when you're doing a podcast, a lot of times what people will provide is like bonus content, and in turn people will kind of pay you money. So I kind of want to do something that was a little more fun, the opposite, like, hey, you guys do something for us and we'll reward you with something that is, like I said, essentially valueless, but it's just kind of a fun little thing to have, and just be able to kind of participate in something neat. And like I said, to my knowledge, the first of any, there probably are, I'm sure that there are other podcasts that have done this kind of thing, and I'm just not aware of them because they're probably smaller outfits like us. But I thought it would be kind of fun to do something like that that's a little unique.
Yeah, hats off to you. I think the idea, I think, is super creative. I certainly hope it catches on. I can't see why not, really. I'm glad you got the the brain to put all that together, because I certainly don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I certainly don't either.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, ultimately, like I said, I wanted this to kind of be a fun thing for everyone. The thing about these is that once you get these, you are the owner of them. You can do with them whatever you want at your own discretion. You can feel free to send them to other people. If someone wants to hand you $5 for them in real life, I guess that's more power to you. You're more than welcome to do that as far as I'm concerned. These are, that's kind of the point of like a decentralized currency, is that once it kind of leaves our hands, we take no real, ownership of what you guys want to do with it, I guess. Don't do anything illegal with it, please.
Yeah, you sound like you're getting into some real shaky territory.
No,
there.
I'm just kidding. Like I said, that's the benefit we have at this point of it being totally valueless, is that there's not really anything you could do with it. But aside from look at it and think of how neat that is to be a part of something like that. That's a popular thing in the world right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, could you imagine being one of the first 25 or one of the first 20 people to have a SAUS token in your virtual wallet?
And that was kind of what I wanted to do, like the first people maybe to kind of get into this. I wanted to maybe send them a little bit more and then kind of taper off as time goes on. And like I said, we haven't really discussed any kind of metrics for doing that, but I thought that would be kind of a nice way to reward like early listeners, just like bragging points, almost like virtual bragging points, like say, look, I have 100,000 of these compared to Joe Schmo that has 2 of them or something.
But wait! Isn't Sony already doing this with the trophies and the other things on PlayStation?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's
I mean,
virtual bragging rights, right?
Yeah,
everyone's doing
you
this.
Very much say that. Xbox,
yeah, Xbox achievements,
sure.
Exactly. That's a perfect kind of analogy. It's just like your gamer points
done.
or whatever.
Did you notice I got a trophy?
I did not. No, I got to hop on.
Does Sony have a thing like that? I know. I think
of
Xbox. When I used to play Xbox, they used to have like gamer points or something like that. So
yeah, these guys have trophies where it's
that's actually probably the best way to look at it, because again, those are kind of like something that has no real monetary value, but you can show your friends and say, "Look at what I have,"
Yeah.
So,
awesome. Well done, E.
Yeah, good analogy.
Only because it just was relevant for the week because I had gotten my first trophy.
Yeah.
I did want to mention these tokens will be symbolized as SAUS, SAUS, if you're trying to find them on anything. Like I said, normally you would use that symbol to find it on an exchange, which, like I said, at this point, there are none on any exchanges, so that would be kind of a useless thing. But, just as a little fun little tidbit there as well, and like I said, all this information is available at SAUSpoken.wordpress.com for anyone that wants more specific details. No, I don't know. Did you guys have any other kind of like questions that we could...
Can this get mixed up with my other actual valuable virtual currency?
Cryptos?
No, so this would be, if you had this in a wallet, like I said, this would be identified under its own specific symbol, name, whatever, and you would see that as a separate virtual currency in your wallet if you had other virtual currencies, cryptocurrencies, whatever, in a wallet of that type.
Does virtual currency have any kind of a iconic or like an icon to it? Like, is it something that you can actually, like, when you log into your wallet, do you see actual coin shaped like images?
Yes, yes, you will, and that'll actually be available on the website as well. You can see it here. Actually, that's what it's going to be. It's just not in color. I don't know if I have a color.
For your reference, he was showing me a picture of a black and white printout on a paper.
Yeah, but they all, in order to answer your question there, they all do pretty much have a unique, there's a lot of unique identifiers there. There's the symbol itself, and then a picture of that, a visual representation of that, the name, obviously, and then all of those coins have a unique address.
Huh. Again, like, that sort of be like the mint of like a dollar bill, or like, the serial number on a dollar bill. That's what I was thinking. The serial number, essentially?
No, you're actually close to the first time. I would say the mint, like, if you want to look at it that way, the place where the money is minted would be kind of equivalent to the address of the token, if that makes sense.
Okay. I was wondering if there's some way for us to like determine, like, oh yeah, this was one of the original
transactions
sauce.
Are serialized in a way, but not necessarily the individual tokens, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So like if I was to give you some, that would be publicly available on the Ethereum blockchain, but you wouldn't be able to see, they wouldn't be uniquely identified, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, I guess.
Okay, well, like I said, I'll kind of wrap it up right now. That was a little bit of, back and forth for you guys. I'm open, obviously, if you feel free to reach out to us at SAUSpoken@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments, or if you're interested, you'd like to learn more, also feel free to stop over to our website, SAUSpoken.wordpress.com. and we'll have a link there with some more information for you guys, a little bit of technical detail. And that'll be updated periodically, so I was kind of hoping to do this episode just as an introduction to you guys. But please, before you decide to get involved in this, please jump over to the website and find the most current updated information on the project so you know you're getting the most accurate, up-to-date information. And I think that'll do it for us on this little snippet. Eric, you have anything to say to sign off there?
We're 25 minutes now, and I think that's over our allotted time.
Good call. And Tori?
Get your coin purse ready for SAUS tokens. We're coming in.
We're coming in. That can be our we're coming in whether you like it or not.
That's ominous. Yeah. How you like that?
Yeah, much like the
Capitol.
I would say I wasn't going to get it. We can talk about that in
tonight's episode.
Yeah, in the episode that we'll be recording shortly here for you guys, which will air at some given point, but yeah, we'll get into that. But a little bit of teaser. Another interesting event that happened on this day in history. Well, actually, yesterday in history, the U.S. Capitol building was stormed by
people.
Yeah, insurgents, domestic terrorists, or if you want to put it mildly, protesters. Yeah, we'll cover that in later episodes. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us this week, for this episode at least. There may be another episode dropping this week. And thank you for listening. And like I said, make sure to check us out at SAUSpoken.wordpress.com or drop us an email, sausspoken@gmail.com. Thanks.